Yo, man, welcome back. Y'all know who it is, man. Your boy Mickal. As y'all see from the title, man. Let's get into it.
The Cat in the Hat is often remembered as one of the most bizarre releases of the early 2000s.
Live-action version of The Cat in the Hat just wasn't a great idea.
This isn't Dr. Seuss. It's not even
pretty
close.
terrifying.
But the adaptation of Dr. Seuss's classic story wasn't just a nightmare for audiences. Cat in the Hat was a horror show both on and off screen, and at the center of the chaos was the actor who basically got blackmailed into putting on the infamous costume. In the year 2000, Universal...
It's crazy. I used to watch his movie a lot. I think I even have the DVD. When I was a kid, I think I even have the DVD. I used to watch that Cat in the Hat a lot. I don't know. I think I have the DVD. I don't know. Do I have the DVD? I think I do. I don't know if I do have the DVD of the Cat in the Hat, but I do know I used to watch this movie a lot though.
Studios released the first live-action Dr. Seuss adaptation with How the Grinch Stole Christmas, and it was a hit. While the film wasn't exactly popular with critics, they managed to gross almost $350 million at the box office, and it quickly became cemented as a Christmas classic. So naturally, the company was eager to adapt more of Seuss's work, and The Cat in the Hat was an easy pick. The casting process was set into motion. The cat was initially supposed to be played by Tim Allen. He was interested in the role and even did some early stage preparation, but due to conflicting schedules with two other projects at the time, he ultimately dropped out. That's when the name Mike Myers came up, but the studio was reluctant. Myers should have been a great pick. He was known for his background in playing roles with larger-than-life cartoonish characteristics, perfect for capturing the whimsy of a Dr. Seuss book, and should have been a strong follow-up to Jim Carrey's iconic performance in The Grinch. But Mike was, to say the least, creatively conflicted at the time. In the late 90s, he had been working on a movie based on his popular Saturday Night Live character, Dieter.
Welcome to Sprocket. I'm your host, Dieter.
There was a deal with Universal, and they had already dumped millions of dollars into funding it when Myers decided to back out. He thought it was going to be unfilmable, claiming he could not.
I wonder if they had somebody else. Like I want to put a Cat in the Hat. I wonder if they had anybody else to do play the Cat in the Hat. Like I wonder if they would have had what's that one dude? I forgot his name. I forgot. Jim Carrey. Who else? The Tim dude. They could have had him. I forgot what his name was. It's the dude that played an elf. I forgot his name, but he played an elf. He could have been a great casting. They had the dude that played an elf. Actually, I don't know. The dude that played what's his name? I forgot. The dude that played an if y'all ever watched the movie Elf, y'all know who I'm talking about.
Not in good conscience accept $20 million and cheat moviegoers who pay their hard-earned money for my work by making a movie with an unacceptable script. As a result, Universal sued Myers for breach of contract, and in response, he countersued the company. Eventually, they reached a settlement, and as part of Myers' agreement, he was contractually obligated to do another movie for Universal and make up for that loss. That's when he was cast as the titular character of Cat in the Hat, which would end up being a huge mistake. He clearly did not want to be there. Maybe it was a lack of interest in the role, or maybe he just wanted to spite the company. Whatever the case was, Myers would go on to make the set miserable for everyone. Actress Amy Hill, who played Mrs. Kwan, described him as a diva, stating in an interview that he would rarely talk to any of the cast and crew, basically pretending they didn't exist. If he needed something communicated, he had information relayed through his assistants. She mentioned that he had someone on standby whose job was to just hold a Tupperware of chocolate and deliver them to him whenever he wanted one. He gave his chocolate guy more attention than some of his co-stars. It was just a horrible, nightmarish experience.
That's what I said. I feel like if they had a different person to play Cat in the Hat, the movie probably, as a kid, I liked it. But I feel like what he's saying is they probably could have had somebody else cast as playing Cat in the Hat. Because remember, they haven't played that one. He probably didn't want to play as Cat in the Hat or acted as Cat in the Hat. He probably want to do something else. If they had somebody else that would have loved it and put their time into it, then Cat in the Hat probably would have been, a lot greater. Like how the Grinch Stole Christmas. You know what I'm saying?
don't think he got to know anybody. He'd just be with his people and walk away. He would reportedly show up late to set and take ages to get into costume and makeup, forcing everyone to wait for hours and delaying the schedule. When he finally did get to set, the actor micromanaged the entire production. They'd do a take, Mike would go look it over, talk to the director, and then do another take, over and over again. He wasn't communicating with the cast, so they never really knew what he was saying. All they did know was that director Bo Welch gave Myers very little pushback on this behavior, allowing him to constantly challenge the writers. Unfortunately, this was his first time directing a movie, so he was understandably intimidated by someone with Mike Myers' status. And when Myers demanded line changes and refused to shoot scenes, Welch felt he had to sit back and let it happen. It was his way or no way. He was supposed to be playing a beloved character from one of the most iconic picture books of all time, but the off-screen tension made it hard for his co-stars to see him that way. The movie's confusing tone stemmed largely from Myers. Originally, it had a more kid-friendly script, but Mike felt he needed to insert crude adult jokes, innuendos, and awkward one-liners that he thought better suited his comedy style.
Dirty hoe. Son of a bitch!
He was used to the loose, improv-heavy environment of something like Austin Powers, where nearly 40% of the dialogue was improvised.
Adult jokes in a kid. Okay, we kind of like they put adult jokes in kid shows and kid movies a lot, especially on Disney Channel. They put it on Jesse. All these shows, Jesse, Gillett, Charlie, they put it on, and the same thing with Nickelodeon shows. They put on all these just as kids. You don't notice that. It is when you grow up and you rewatch the shows you love watching as a kid, there was adult jokes that was in there. You know what I'm saying?
Should have been easy to see that this wouldn't translate well into a colorful, family-friendly Dr. Seuss movie. He turned the film into something unrecognizable from its original script, although he wasn't the only one to blame for the complicated environment. While this was Bo Welch's directorial debut, he was an experienced production designer, having worked on movies like Beetlejuice and Edward Scissorhands, which undeniably showed in the set design for Cat in the Hat. Rather than filming in an actual town or a traditional studio, they constructed an entire artificial neighborhood. Every aspect of it, from plants to roads to houses, was painted in an oversaturated style to achieve the cartoony, surreal vibe they were aiming for.
I think we shot one day on one set where there was something real. That was the grass. Otherwise, everything else was manufactured. On the stages we went, everywhere we went, even the trees were fake. So when design is everywhere in a movie, it does set a very special tone for you.
But this came with a lot of problems, maintenance being a huge one. As if the cost of building a neighborhood wasn't deep enough, any damage or weathering to the set required fixing and repainting, which not only cost more but further delayed production. The bright, unnatural colors demanded meticulous lighting to avoid glare. On top of that, the interior sets, like the house, were made to look warped and cartoonish, but they were extremely tight, leaving little room for the crew. Bright studio lights and small spaces made it a hot, claustrophobic environment. Everyone suffered, but Mike, being in a full bodysuit and face prosthetics, got irritated frequently and would have to go reset his costume during takes.
Being a good sport. What's that? You're being a good sport seems hard.
There were quite a few scenes that didn't make the final cut, and it was probably for the better. One of them featured Thing 1 and Thing 2 trying to delay the mom's arrival, and to do so, they chug a mountain of water bottles. When she gets to the neighborhood, Thing 1 floods the streets with piss.
What the?
Flood? There's not a cloud in the sky.
What the? What?
Through all the challenges behind the scenes, Universal still had enough confidence in the film's success to greenlight.
The thing, I really feel like it was just the actor that played the Cat in the Hat. I feel like if they had somebody that really wanted, that really enjoyed the character and really wanted to like be the character, I feel like it would have been better. The same thing with the Grinch. I feel like if you put all into your work on what you do with Cat in the Hat, it probably would have got better feedback from it. You know what I'm saying? Just like with the Grinch, they still make the Grinch movies today. Cause why? For the first one they made, dude loved this character. I feel like if you love your character so much and you put your work into it, it makes the movie better. You know what I'm saying?
a video game alongside its release, and even planned on making a sequel. However, the movie hit theaters on November 21st, 2003, and it was immediately met with scathing reviews from critics and audiences alike.
If there's one thing I've learned from these two movies is that we don't want to see Jim Carrey as a Grinch, and we don't want to see Mike Myers as a cat.
It's hard to say who is less recognizable in The Cat in the Hat, Mike Myers or the actual Cat in the Hat. Let's hope this insult of a movie doesn't taint any child's ability to enjoy the original. Crude humor full of pop culture.
You know, it's crazy. If they wanted to, they could try to remake The Cat in the Hat for today's generation. Will the kids now like The Cat in the Hat? I don't know, maybe not, but I feel like because if they brought back Barney and stuff like that, I feel like, you know what I'm saying, they could possibly bring back Cat in the Hat. If they, I don't think, would they? Probably not. Probably not. But I feel like if they want Cat in the Hat to do good, I feel like today's age, they could probably make another Cat in the Hat movie today.
References.
You know what I'm saying?
This not only yanks us out of the dreamlike on-screen world, but it makes the film painful to watch. But no one hated it more than Dr. Seuss's widow, Audrey Geisel. So much so that she went on to ban any future live-action Dr. Seuss adaptation on behalf of the Seuss estate. That's why there have only been animated adaptations since. It's hard to put all the blame for its failure on one person. One of the biggest criticisms for the film was its inconsistent tone, with too many adult jokes, and that was largely due to Mike Myers. Critics found his portrayal of the cat to be creepy and obnoxious.
My bad. I had a power outage for about 2 hours, but we're back, and I'm glad that my recording saved, so I don't have to redo the video. But I don't know where we was at, so we're gonna go back to where I looked into the video where I know it's at this part. So yeah.
One of the biggest criticisms for the film was its inconsistent tone, with too many adult jokes, and that was largely due to Mike Myers. Critics found his portrayal of the cat to be creepy and obnoxious as well, but its issues went much deeper than that. The unfocused direction, hyperactive pacing, and annoying slapstick humor all played a role in the movie's demise. While some thought...
But for this movie, as a kid, I did like this movie, but I feel like if they would have kept it like not kid friendly, but like a kid movie where like there wasn't adult just on this saying in kid TV shows and movies, there's always adult jokes in there. There's always in these shows. It wasn't iCarly, Victorious, it was in Zoe 101, Drake and Josh, Jesse, Gullet Charles, all these shows we grew up watching. Adult jokes are literally in there, even in the, you know what I'm saying?
The sets were impressive, others found them to be oversaturated eyesores. It was really just hard to determine who the film was for. Parents were upset and uncomfortable, kids were confused, and critics were repulsed. Mike Myers' career took a bit of a hit afterwards. He still voice acted for the Shrek franchise in the following years, but his next major live-action appearance was The Love Guru in 2008, which was even more of a commercial and critical flop. His reputation in Hollywood was soured, being known as difficult to work with. He's since chosen to take a step back from acting. Aside from a few scattered roles here and there, he largely vanished from the public eye. Regardless, Mike Myers is still viewed as a comedy legend, which is a status that will never change. Many of those involved did go on to have lasting careers, but for everyone, the film was an all-time low. Maybe The Cat in the Hat was a good movie that got lost along the way, or maybe this story was never meant to be adapted in live action to begin with.
Hey man, y'all know, what do y'all think down below, man? Do y'all believe it's that? What do y'all believe, man? You know what I'm saying? I believe, you know what I'm saying, it could have been a better movie. Well, as a kid, like we watched it, like I rewatched it. I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like they probably could have made it to where it's animated, not live action. Like they could probably make like an animated one, maybe live action. They could probably redo it. I don't know. I feel like a lot of shows that we grow up on and watch is like they don't make them stuff no more. They don't make like these movies we used to love watching, like, the same Polar Express, it's like stuff like that. I don't feel like they're gonna make movies like that no more. It's like a lot of movies now just go on Hulu, they go on Netflix, they go on Disney Plus, where you can just buy it. You literally don't even have to go to the movie theaters. No, you can just buy the movie at home or just wait for it to hit Netflix or Hulu or Disney Plus. Especially like Disney movies or like Marvel movies. Stuff like you can literally watch it on Disney Plus. You literally wait a couple months and put it on Disney Plus. You know what I'm saying? Just like the Lilo and Stitch that put it on Disney. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of these movies, there's no point to go to. Like I used to love going to movies. As a kid, you go to the movie theaters, watch whatever you want. But I just feel like now it's just, I don't know. The world is different now. Kids don't really watch TV like that. They're all doing TikTok dances and playing Roblox. That's, you know what I'm saying? It's not the same how we was kids. Y'all know 2000 kids, you know what I'm saying? How we was going outside, going on a swing and all that, going on this, you know what I'm saying? It's just not the same anymore. But y'all don't know what you think down below, man. Been your boy Mickal, and I'll see you guys in the next one, man. We out. Peace.